Hello folks, welcome to the Poly Champions YouTube. Sunnymaster, a two-time bullet champion, talks us through his Vengir finals game. You'll see both sides use a double sword opening, why to choose forestry over mining, and when pushing a unit with a giant can save your skin or lose you the game. Okay, let's watch the replay. Hello, I'm eSpark. I'm the leader of the Arctic Wolves and a junior on the Huskies, and with me today is Sunnymaster.
Hello, I'm Sunnymaster. I'm a pro player on the Kraken team, and I'm going to be reviewing this game from Bullet Finals against Cosmos, who is a junior on the Jets team.
And Cosmos is the skull. He has the skin. He's over in the east, and you have the regular skin. You're over in the west.
So, notably, both our spawns have two animals, which means we'll probably go into hunting and maybe archery later. And then, yeah, we both go for a double swordsman opening, which is useful if we're attempting to knock somebody else off of a village. But with the way this ends up working out, the double swordsmen aren't super useful. So here he gets to that village, and my other swordsman is not in range to knock it off, so I realize I'm just going to have to give him that village. I don't really have a choice. I should just go explore in the south.
He harvests the animals, gets a workshop, and you do the same.
Yep.
And he gets that middle village, but you're going to get those two.
Well, actually, I'm only going to get Kuthkuth, because his swordsman is able to go down and contest the village in the south, and he has a city much closer to it, which means he can train units right next to it. Right now it would take a swordsman on my capital, like 4 turns to even get there.
Oh, yes, I see. He has those two swordsmen coming for your swordsman in the south there.
Yes, and then we can also see this is looking like it's going to be a 5-village game, which means he's going to have 3, and I'm going to have 2.
Oh, he's going to have more cities than you. That's tough. Oh, what do you get from the ruins? Stars?
So I get stars, which is a big help in equalizing things. I'm able to get an explorer there, which in the bullet commentary was a bit controversial. I think the vision here actually ends up being really useful later on. And then I capture that, and I got forestry with the stars, so I can chop those 2 forests and get 2 stars back, and make that village very weak for him in the future.
Oh, yeah, I remember. He sieges that city, but since you have forestry, you chop those 2 forests, making it basically useless for him.
And he's going to get a bunch of lighthouses.
And he also gets forestry, which makes sense. We were talking about this in the chat. Actually, can we talk about this? So someone was asking, why get forestry instead of going climbing and mining because you have smithery? But I was saying it's more about return on investment.
Yes, that is an aspect. However, climbing and mining, that's 2 techs you have to get. Well, if you already have hunting, it's very easy to just go straight into forestry.
Exactly.
Although, in this case, there's an argument to be made for going mining because of that ruin, the mountain ruin in the south. So he might want to go climbing anyway, just to secure himself that ruin.
Yeah, I agree.
So I would have personally gone for mining, but he also had some forests in the way on his capital, so either one is reasonable. And also, notably, the way he chopped the forest, he's very much committing to going for math later. He's not really going for smithery, because the one forest he didn't chop is in the middle of a very nice smithery spot. Instead, he's preparing to get a sawmill.
Right. There's a level 4 sawmill spot there now.
And then I understand why he would want to get an explorer here. I don't know if it's like really super necessary, since he's unlikely to get a lighthouse, but it also just doesn't go in a great direction for him. But the vision doesn't end up actually telling him too much. I think especially because Gortys is now locked at level 1, so only 1 star per turn, a workshop is probably a bit more necessary. So now he does have enough to upgrade his capital with math. So I realized the turn before that I can send those swordsmen to Imtu, and they're going to be able to siege and take it. As if he trains a swordsman, my 2 swordsmen can kill the swordsman he trains, and if he doesn't, they can just walk in.
Oh,
So he gets population, which is super nice for him, because that means he can upgrade his capital and get a giant. But in the getting of a giant, he actually makes a very big mistake.
Yeah, he can get a giant. Look at that. Ooh, that was lucky to get that from the ruins. Oh, he places his Park of Fortune in that middle city.
Well, so this ties back to his mistake there. So right now, I can just step into that city, or I can attack into it, and he's just gonna lose it. And like, he has vision, he knows that that's the case. But if he trained a swordsman on his capital, he would have been able to pop a giant there and then push it, since the capital is in the east corner, it would push to the west, so then he would have 2 swordsmen in range to defend Imtu.
And leave the middle city open?
Yes, because he can definitely unsiege.
Yeah, so you were able to siege that middle city because you had 2 swordsmen. But if he had another swordsman from that he had been pushed from the capital, then he would have been able to use that south swordsman in combination to unsiege, right? That's what you're thinking.
Yes. So, like, right now his eco lead is absolutely massive. He has 11 stars per turn, and I think I'm at 6. But with me getting the middle city, that offsets a lot of that.
But he also has a giant coming.
So I get archery to counter the giant, and it just generally is strong in Vengir. Oh yes, and I make a interesting but pretty minor mistake up with the swordsman in the north. It probably would have been smarter to attempt to sacrifice it, simply because it's taking up population, and if you look at how far away it is from the action, like, his giant will already be sieging Imtu before I can even get it anywhere close. So it would be more useful to have that population freed up for an archer, because my city there is actually pop-capped.
Wait. I don't understand what you're saying about sacrificing the swordsman. How's that going to help?
So you can see the city Kuthkuth is population capped, and that swordsman is from Kuthkuth. So, if I attacked his swordsman with mine, then next turn he would kill it, but I would have population freed up in Kuthkuth, which means I could train another archer, which would actually be a pretty big deal for me, because it would help me defend off that giant.
Okay, let's keep going. So you're going to take that city, that middle city back, and you've got 2 archers in range.
Yes, so I'm able to kill that swordsman, but now I have to commit to an overall strategy. And in this case, like, the giant's going to come. I'm thinking maybe there would be a way to block it, because a giant can't actually kill a swordsman. So if I can block his reinforcing units, then he won't actually be able to get it that quickly. But I'm also thinking I might just have to sacrifice it, and then make an archer wall and then hit him with all of the archers in the archer wall when he gets on the city, then he'll have to waste his turn capturing it next turn, and then I can hit him again and probably besiege. And then he'll be down a giant and I'll have a lot of
No, he also gets archery.
He does, which was a bit unexpected, but... And he also gets, unfortunately, sailing from the ruin.
Oh no! Did he get sailing? Man, sailing from a land ruin is just so frustrating.
Yeah. But I guess it's somewhat made up for by the fact that he got that really nice pop ruin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here he makes another big mistake. That swordsman is actually at 1 out of 3 kills before he attacks it. And then when he sacrifices that 5 HP into it, it becomes a 2 out of 3 kill swordsman. So I'm able to actually promote it to a veteran, and that veteran really helps me win the game in the end. I have my archers there, and I'm taking a few cheap shots at it. I'm also trying to pose a bit of a threat to the capital with a swordsman and some archers over there.
Yeah.
So basically all of his cities I could theoretically siege next turn.
Oh.
Which puts him in a really tough spot.
Oh.
Right, because like I could get Gortys unless he does exactly that. Hit my archer with a swordsman and train another one. And then also he has to train a tankier unit up there in his capital, but doing that ends up leaving his center city open, and I actually have enough units surrounding it that I'm able, with climbing, to kill the giant. I didn't actually have time to calculate this out, I just felt like it would probably work. But if you're in a longer game and you're in a scenario like this would be a great time to use the poly calculator.
Oh, let's put in a plug for the Poly Calculator. Poly Champions is brought to you by Poly Calculator. Poly Calculator for all your battle needs. Not sure whether your opponent will be able to kill you, whether you kill your opponent? Check the Poly Calculator and never question again. Okay, so this game is wrapping up. You said you're going to be able to siege all 3, right? Let's see.
No,
one.
I would have been able to. He defended 2 of them, but that means he wasn't able to properly defend his central city. Right, if we go back to his turn 13.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see in Gortys.
Yeah.
Right, like, he needs to kill one of my archers and train a swordsman, otherwise I'm going to be able to siege it with the veteran swordsman, which will just mean he can't unsiege it. And similarly with his capital, he needs to hit my nearby units, and also train like a warrior or a swordsman up there. But then what he doesn't realize is the threat to his giant in the center. The fact that I have so many units around, I'm just able to kill it, and with that veteran swordsman, I can make it so that he can't actually properly unsiege.
It sounds like one of the important factors, other than not pushing earlier, where he could have pushed a swordsman to unsiege, the other factor is keeping track of veterans and knowing that you had a veteran swordsman, right? That really was key.
Yeah, and stuff like this makes Vengir Bullet especially neat, because Vengir, since you don't have as many stars per turn overall, there's a lot more attention to detail involved, and so like things like pushing that swordsman, or me getting the veteran, like that makes a much bigger difference than even than in most other types of bullet.
Yeah. Okay, very good. This was a great game. Thanks so much for talking me through it.
Right, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It helps us a lot. To support Poly Champions directly, plus get channel perks, click the join button below. For more Polytopia games with expert commentary, check out the links in the description. Join our Discord server. Get on a team. The link to the Discord is also in the description. Take care. See you on the next one.